When people talk about wealth, they often look west. When they talk about growth, they look east. But when it comes to raw economic engines, the systems that move people, money, industry, and ideas, the story of Africa is rarely told properly. Because Africa doesn't have one economy. It has multiple engines, each powerful in its own way, each shaping the continent differently. Tonight, we're not ranking countries like a scoreboard. We're answering a deeper question. Who is actually driving Africa's wealth, and how? GDP rankings change, currencies rise and fall, oil prices spike, then crash. So instead of asking who is richest, we ask something more important. Which countries function as Africa's wealth engines? A wealth engine is not just money. It's scale, systems, population, productivity, and influence. And 5 countries stand out. Not because they're perfect, but because Africa moves when they move. Let's start where scale begins. Nigeria is not just a country. Nigeria is a force of volume. Over 200 million people. Africa's largest consumer market. Africa's biggest labor pool. Africa's loudest economic heartbeat. Nigeria's wealth engine is scale. Every bank, telco, FMCG company, and tech startup understands this simple rule. If it works in Nigeria, it can work anywhere in Africa. Lagos alone is an economy larger than some African countries combined. But Nigeria's engine isn't smooth. It's noisy, chaotic, uneven. Oil built the foundation. Services, fintech, entertainment, and trade now power the momentum. Nigeria doesn't grow quietly. It grows violently fast or painfully slow. Yet one thing is constant. Africa's future consumer economy runs through Nigeria. If Nigeria is volume, South Africa is structure. This is where Africa's deepest capital markets live. Most advanced financial systems operate. Industrial capacity was built decades earlier. South Africa doesn't just produce wealth, it organizes it. Banks here fund projects across the continent. Corporations headquartered here operate in 20+ African countries. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange remains Africa's most sophisticated financial marketplace. Even with energy challenges and slow growth, South Africa's role hasn't disappeared. It remains Africa's economic backbone, quietly holding systems together while others expand outward. Egypt's wealth engine is position. Africa, Middle East, Europe, Asia. Few countries sit at the crossroads of global trade like Egypt. The Suez Canal alone makes Egypt indispensable to global commerce. But Egypt is more than transit. It has one of Africa's largest industrial bases, a massive domestic market, strong state-led infrastructure investment. Egypt's economy is state-driven, scale-focused, and export-aware. It doesn't wait for markets to organize themselves. It builds, then forces growth through scale. Egypt proves one thing clearly. Geography, when managed well, is wealth. While others diversify, Algeria dominates one critical sector: energy. Oil and gas remain Africa's most strategic exports, and Algeria sits at the center of Europe's energy security. Long-term contracts, pipeline diplomacy, state-controlled resources. Algeria's wealth engine is control. It doesn't chase volatility, it secures stability. In a world of energy shocks, Algeria is not flashy, but it is essential, and essential economies never disappear. Ethiopia represents something different. Not wealth now, but wealth loading. Africa's fastest industrializing economy for years. Massive population, state-led manufacturing, infrastructure before consumption, textiles, light manufacturing, logistics. Ethiopia is building what China built decades ago, slowly, deliberately, at scale. Its engine is patience, and patience in development compounds. Here's the truth most rankings miss. Africa doesn't rise through one country, it rises through interconnected engines. Nigeria supplies consumers, South Africa supplies capital, Egypt supplies trade access, Algeria supplies energy security, Ethiopia supplies future manufacturing power, and now, through continental trade frameworks, these engines are starting to connect. When they align, Africa stops exporting potential and starts exporting power. Africa's story is not one of lack. It's one of misunderstood momentum. The engines are already running. The question is no longer if Africa will rise. It's who learns to ride the engines first. This is Africa, not emerging, but moving.